when I was working for Daddy and Uncle, one of them doing concrete, they was call me a Mexican. So I wouldn't wear a hat. I wore a bandana.
Oh, racist.
Well,
Not a racist stereotype.
There you go.
They also call me a nigger finisher because I didn't stretch doing the concrete. So you're on knee pads out there finishing the concrete by hand. Well, I would just finish what was in front of me, then I'd move my pad. Where they take a trowel and put one in here and stick the other one way out there like that, you know. So I just do it right here, you know. And when I did the edges, I just did what was right there, you know. I didn't go stretching way out there to do it.
I'm not hurting my back.
Right? Okay, let's see. What is your full name?
Eddie Louis Myers.
Do you know why you were named that?
I was named after some singer. I don't know who. I
Okay.
can't sing, so it's not transferable.
Your first name was after a singer?
Yes,
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
And Lewis, do you think that was after
that
Lewis
was.
Franklin, maybe?
It could
Spelled
be, but it's
different.
spelled different.
Yeah.
They spelled it with an O, and this is with an E. So
Okay.
maybe Lewis. If Lewis is the first name, you spell it with an O, and if it's the middle name, then you spell it with an E. So
Mm.
I don't know.
What were your parents' names?
Doyle J, and that's it, just J. No J-A-Y, just J. Myers. And then Ruth Geneva Art was her maiden name.
Art?
Art. O-R-R-I-C-K.
Oh, Oric. Yeah. I remember that one. Okay. And you had two siblings?
Yes.
What were their names?
Well, the oldest one was named Milton. I don't know his full name. He
Mhm.
died before I was even born.
Tetanus.
Huh?
Tetanus?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I've
so.
always been horrified at tetanus.
And then,
then,
James Leon Myers.
Yes.
And then me.
you're the youngest.
Yeah, I was a baby.
What places did you live, and do you remember how long?
What places?
As
Uh-huh.
a kid?
As a kid.
As a kid? Well, we lived in Garmin, and the only thing I really remember is Garmin and Austin. You know. But Daddy went around a lot working at different.
So you just ended up in different places
Yeah,
for a little
he-
bit?
He worked in Waco and in San Antonio in the Air Force Base, doing concrete type stuff.
Mhm.
And then him and Uncle Jake went into a partnership. Myers Brothers Construction or Concrete. I don't remember what it said. No. But yeah, and that's the only two that I remember. And I, of course, when I went in the military, I went.
Where'd you go in the military?
You just about name it. I've been there, so I know. When we deployed to Diego Garcia in November of one year. Well, that was when they took the Iranian embassy. So I wasn't even supposed to go. But they took me. So we went over in the middle of November, and I flew out on January 2nd. So I was only there about a month and a half, the
Yeah.
last trip over there. Well, and then, of course, there was in between duty stations, 30 days leave and all that, and we traveled and all. And so we flew all the way over there, southern
Iran?
route, through Hawaii and like that. Came back to northern, I came back on a flight from the northern route, which came through Alaska and the different countries in between. And I had to write down for Daddy all the, which I don't remember now, but I was in like 10 different countries. Some of them just landing,
Yeah.
Japan and you name it. So,
I've not been out of the country.
of course, I'd been to Puerto Rico, as you probably know from your mother.
Mom was born in Puerto Rico. And then you've been to the Philippines, right?
Yeah,
That's what
went
I
back
said.
one too many times.
Which parent did you prefer to spend your time with?
Which parent?
Yeah.
Well, my parents were divorced when I was about 11, so
Oh, I did not know that.
I spent 90% of my time with my mother. So,
Okay.
I'd see Daddy on some kind of fishing trip in the summer, or maybe going to a deer lease during the during the holidays, and then when he got remarried, I'd have to go over there and eat Christmas dinner and stuff with them. So I didn't like the way she cooked. So
You're like, forget her, just her cooking.
and she used to give me. I don't like eggnog. I've been meaning to
I
try
don't
it
like
again.
it.
But she'd put eggnog ice cream in a glass and then pour eggnog over the top of it. And of course mine didn't get no rum or vodka or anything, whatever they put in it. So theirs had other stuff in it. So
What is the most important lesson your parents taught you?
I have no idea.
Huh?
Actually, I've slept since then, so I don't know.
I forgot. Where did you go to school?
Where?
Yeah.
Well, I started out at Ridgetop.
Where's
Well,
that?
my first grade, I was in a Baptist school, and then I went to regular city schools at Ridgetop in Austin,
Okay.
and then Baker Junior High, and then McCallum High School.
All in Austin.
All
Okay.
in Austin, yeah. All on the north side.
And you graduated?
No, I graduated from high school in 1971 from Inter-American University in Puerto Rico.
I was gonna say, it sounds a little off timing.
No, I dropped out in the 11th grade, so
You were almost done.
huh?
You were almost done.
Gnat
Yeah.
flying around.
Do you remember your first crush?
Had to be Pat Ford, 6th grade.
Wow.
I was just thinking about her the other day. That was the only time she was there in Austin, because her daddy was a doctor, and he had got moved in there and then moved out.
Moved in and moved out.
Yeah.
How were you in school, academic and behavior?
Academic, I did just enough to pass,
Where I get it from?
and just say I spent a lot of time in the principal's office.
That's what I
I
heard.
wonder where I got it from.
And not them. Are there any school memories that stick out?
No, not really.
Well,
Funny.
10th grade once.
Did you get into any fights in school?
Quite a few.
Is that how you ended up in the principal's office?
But he played football,
Well,
right? He played football.
Yeah, in junior high, I played
Yeah.
football, but when I went to high school, I decided to knock that stuff off. So I don't know why. I always played in the little league and all that, but I never played any baseball or anything in high school. I don't know why. Or junior high school, either one. So.
Why didn't I play?
Because it was one I really liked, but I just didn't do it for some reason. Well, high school, it got to be other things took priority.
Girls? Hmm.
Yeah,
Girls and cars.
yeah, cars, yeah. Well, cars were very, very important to us. So I lost quite a few girlfriends by forgetting about them and working on my car. So
That leads into the next question.
Oh.
What did you and your friends do?
well, at night, or weekend nights, we cruised
In the cars?
in the cars, going from the north side. Well, we had two big drive-in type things, pig stands, and you had North Pig and South Pig, that was the name of the thing, pig stand.
Oh, okay.
And it was just like a big drive-in thing. That's one where them old ones. You pulled in, turned your
Yeah.
headlights on, and the waitress would come out. No roller skates or nothing. So, but they, and you just made the circle, and you go down Congress Avenue, San Jacinto. San Jacinto's all part of the University of Texas now, so I don't know how you would go. But we just cruised in a big circle, everybody, drag racing from red lights and stuff.
Oh.
So, well, all of our cars were, like my car got 6 miles to the gallon.
Oh!
That's how. Of course, gas was only 19 cents. But
That's
I
true.
used the cheapest crap I could find. So. My buddy always had to have premium, Jesse. He had to put premium in his. So I said, not me. I built mine to run on the cheap stuff.
Still ran.
What cars did y'all work on and how did that go? That's Sean wanted me to ask you about the cars.
Okay, well, when I was, what was I? I don't know, maybe 15 or 16 years old. From working in the summer, I bought $40 for a 1950 Chevrolet, no motor, no nothing. And then I completely disassembled it. I mean, we took everything apart and then put it back together. And of course, they only had 6 cylinders in there. When it went back in there, it had a big V8 in it. And I drove it out of the garage when I was 17. And I can tell you, I bought it when I was 14 or 15.
Mm-hmm.
So it took that long to take it all apart,
The
put
same
it back
car?
together. Because we had to change everything. You had to change
Yeah.
the rear end and everything. So basically you had the frame and the body. And then it was a coupe, so it only had the front seats and just had a little board in the back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I bought the seats from the junkyard out of Pontiac Grand Prix, bucket seats. So it had bucket seats in the front and in the back. So very inconvenient. Bucket seats were keen then, so but it was very inconvenient for dates. They had to sit on their side of the car, and you had to sit on your side of the car. Couldn't slide all the way over. So,
Why are you telling me this? When did you go into the military? What year?
1965. It would have been. Oh, I don't remember the date. I think in July sometime, 1965.
We do have a newspaper clipping.
I didn't even ask what year he was born or when his birthday was.
I was born in 1946.
And then so you
December
were 21?
What's that?
Or you were 20 when you went to the military?
Oh, I think
45?
when I went to where?
Military?
Military?
Yeah.
No,
Well, you 45, right? And then or
No.
40? What year did you say you was born?
I was 19 years old.
Yeah,
Yeah, right before his birthday.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
oh, I
Mental
thought you were
math,
saying
mental
I
math.
was 45 years old. Right?
No.
No. In 45, but yeah, okay.
December 7th, 1946, born in Gorman.
Gorman, Texas, yeah.
Oh, and you answered this
In an
one.
insane asylum, what y'all better remember.
In an insane asylum.
Why?
Because that's their hospital.
That's what they called hospitals in, asylums.
Oh, asylum.
Oh, they.
We just
why?
won't put the insane part. Just the
Okay. Why did you decide to join?
I got drafted.
No choice.
Well, Vietnam was cranking up, and I decided that I would rather go in the Navy and be in construction than being drafted into the Army. So,
Did you get to pick being in the Seabees, or is that where you ended up?
well, that's where I ended up. But I had the qualifications for it. I had to get into Seabees at that time. When you went down to join, you had to, get some proof that I worked construction.
Oh, okay.
So, well, I worked for my
Yeah.
father. I had 2 uncles and a father in the concrete business in Austin. So, I got plenty of letters saying,
Yeah. Hello.
saying yes, he used to work summers for us. He was a pain in the ass, but he worked for us.
He was there. We remember. What did you do? What did CBs do? What did the CBs do?
Construction.
So they send you to the different stations to do construction there?
Well, I was a heavy equipment operator. That's not what they wanted me to be, because all the paperwork
Uh-huh.
that it was submitted for me would all have been putting me in a builder. 'Cause
Yeah.
that would be the people that did the framing, did the concrete on the houses
Yeah.
and stuff like that. But that isn't what I wanted. I had done that. I wanted to be an equipment operator. In fact, I wanted to be a crane operator,
Mm-hmm.
which turned out to be a bad position to ask, because once I showed a proficiency for crane operating, every place I went, that's all I ever did.
Yeah.
I
Got
didn't.
stuck with
I
it?
hardly ever got to work on a dirt job or something as an equipment operator. You didn't get to run a roller,
Yeah.
which is just go to sleep in that job. You up and back, up and back.
It's going.
Still recording?
Yeah.
But cranes, I could.
So were you going there to build for the military, or was it both? Kind of building for the military for like barracks and stuff, or whatever?
Yeah, okay. Now when you're in a battalion, you're building for the and the battalions that deployed to Vietnam also built. But I was with the CB team, and we were on the pacification program, which you taught the locals a trade.
Okay.
You know, so we had tinker toy equipment. It had to be airliftable, so it was small.
Yeah.
You know, grader, bulldozer, little bitty stuff, and not the good pushing stuff. You know, not a 20-ton dozer or
Yeah.
a 40-ton one. You know, these probably if they weighed 10 tons, it was a miracle. But we taught, you know, we'd teach them to run equipment, and then when we went through that school, you had to go through every phrase. So, had a 13-man team,
Mm-hmm.
and you had like, what was it, a week or 2 weeks? I think it was a week, at least, in each thing, to get you the basics of being a plumber.
Okay.
And the same thing, you'd have another 2-week course for the electrician, and then an engineering aide, an equipment operator, a mechanic, you know,
So you could
a
do
builder.
all of it. Yeah.
What they wasn't trying to make you had a, like I was one of the EOs. There were 2 EOs on the team, so we were the primary of operators. But the other people, sorry, that gave them enough experience so they could drive the dump trucks and stuff. And the ones that were pretty good, they could run the front end loader and stuff like that, backhoe. Even our corpsman, you know, had a corpsman on the team, and he used to think he was an equipment operator. So,
No.
but that's so we didn't, but we went out to Little Bill's and worked with them. So
Okay.
we'd put up a shed for the storing of the rice and stuff. You know?
Yeah, I remember, like when people, because they're, you know how I work at Walmart, so there's people that come in all the time and they're like, oh, well, do you have somebody that's military? And I'm like, my grandpa was in the Seabees, and they're like, oh, we like Seabees, and I'm like, yeah.
Especially if they were a Marine. They always say that. We love CBs.
Well, when you got CBs around with the Marines, that means they get to sleep in a building and not on the ground in a tent. So they like CBs.
So you'd get sent out to build the areas for them.
A lot of times we because then the tents aren't that bad. They're not the little
Yeah.
pup tents like you see in the.
But it's definitely better than,
Camping on the ground.
yeah. Da-da-da-da-da.
Well, every place I was always tropical. The only place I ever went where it got cold was Spain. You know, it'd get down to like 4 degrees. It never snowed any time I was over there.
You said
You know.
4D?
4 degrees.
Well, I mean, not every day.
No,
but
yeah,
it
just-
got cold, you know.
The coldest.
The worst we had was driving pile down on the pier during the winter over in Spain. Because you're on a concrete pier, and you got the icy wind blowing across the top, and it's blowing underneath the pier.
Uh-huh.
So that concrete you're standing on is like standing on a big block of ice, because it's so freaking cold.
Yeah.
And it was a fuel pier, so we couldn't have you normally have a 55-gallon drum out there. Anything that gets burned, that'll burn or get stuffed in there and lit up, so you can go and warm up a little bit.
Yeah. Couldn't do that on those.
No, okay, not on a fuel pier.
Oh,
Every
it'll light
safety
fire.
man in the world, even though it's.
Excuse me. Okay, what places did you get stationed in?
What places?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Station.
the Philippines,
For sure.
Vietnam, Puerto Rico, and then I worked in Spain. Deployed to Spain, and then from there we went down to Morocco.
Where's that?
It's
Spain.
North Africa.
Okay, yeah.
If Spain is down here,
Uh-huh.
where the Mediterranean clicks together,
Mhm.
a little narrow part. But if you go across them, I can't remember the name of the city in Spain, but you can ride a ferry across to get into
Mhm.
Morocco. But we were closing out a base in Morocco,
Okay.
which is northern Africa. We're in Central America, Honduras,
Is that too simple?
and then spent a couple of days in Thailand. That's where I should have went on R&R instead of back to the Philippines.
Oh, we better go. We're not here no more.
Well, if my buddy had done his job, because I wasn't going to go back to the Philippines. I'd already made it out there twice, so without ending up with a wife. So I told him, I said, okay, I'll go, because he wanted to go, and he was afraid to go to some foreign country on R&R.
Why?
I mean, it's set up, it's set up with the Americans, but he just, I don't know. That's why I told him when they extended in Vietnam, they'd go home on 30 days basket leave.
Mm-hmm.
I told him, why don't you go someplace? They're going to fly you any place in the free world you want to go. Go.
You didn't want to?
Huh?
You didn't want to?
Oh, I went to the
You,
Philippines.
yeah.
But my buddy was supposed to not let me wander off to Manila, so. But he got drunk and I wandered.
You're fine. Go ahead, dude. What was your favorite thing about the military?
Huh?
Your favorite thing about the military?
Well, I like to travel. I like to work, and you meet a lot of people because
Oh yeah.
if it hadn't been for the draft, I'd have probably never left the state of Texas. Maybe run over to Louisiana or something to go to New Orleans, which I kind of liked.
Yeah.
But other than that, I probably would have never went. Of course, a few trips to Mexico,
Yeah.
and then and just so I
Good
I
experience.
enjoyed it. There was
Yeah.
a lot of so you meet a lot of people from
I bet, yeah. What about your least favorite part?
Huh?
Your least favorite part?
being in the military.
Yeah.
It gets the military. The only two duty stations that are good is the one you just left, and then the one that you're gonna go to. Never the one you're at. That's the worst place you've ever
Yeah.
been in your life.
That
Of
makes
course,
sense.
when you get to the new one, it becomes it. So it's the worst place.
Mhm.
But prior to that, it's gonna be it. Good
It's
stuff.
different. Do you regret going into the military?
No.
Yeah. How many bar fights did you get into?
Oh, I don't know.
Too many to count.
A lot.
Mom said there was one where an earthquake hit.
Was that an earthquake? You were leaned back up against the wall?
Oh yeah, well that was in San Diego. Yeah, that wasn't overseas.
Yeah, that
That
wasn't
was-
even overseas.
Yeah, I was leaning in just a regular chair and up against the wall, and I'd never been in an earthquake before, and it was just a little general thing.
Mm-hmm.
But my chair, tile floor, it slid out, me leaning back on two legs. Well, I thought the guy kicked the chair out of me, so I got up and hit him. It turned out it was an earthquake, so we both got in trouble for that.
Do you remember the reason for fights in the military, or was it just drunk and?
Yeah, most of the time it was drunk. Some of them were fighting over girls, which I thought was kind of stupid.
Some of the other people, or?
Well, the girls they were fighting over,
Uh huh.
they were bar girls, so while me and Jordan are fighting over you, you take off with him. That's
Yeah.
the way the bar girls were.
Bye.
They didn't, American girls like people to fight over them, but
They're like,
they don't know where they're
where's the money? When are you gonna take me over? When did you and Grandma meet?
Oh, God.
The third deployment to the Philippines.
No, it wasn't a deployment. It was just
Is that where you went, like, on the off time?
no, I was stationed there for 19 months. And I met her during that 19 months, but I don't know exactly
Yeah.
when. I got drugged to my normal hangouts were bars.
Mm-hmm.
Plenty of beer and plenty of,
There goes Mighty. He's behind your chair.
yeah. Plenty of ladies of ill repute and all that, so. And, but anyway, I got drugged to some kind of stupid dance in Manila, which I don't dance, so that was stupid. But he had to have somebody with him, so I got drugged along, and she was one of the chaperones there, so.
Oh, she's chaperoning the dance?
The dance, oh, you hadn't seen their dance. The boys sit on this side, the girls sit on this side. They got a counter about where the food, the snacks, and the
But
drinks.
y'all were older.
We were
It's the Philippines, though. They're
there as
culture.
his girlfriend, or my friend's girlfriend, was a school teacher on the base.
Oh.
So he went with her,
Mhm.
and I got drug along. I'm not really sure exactly why, but
Hey,
we were
chaperone.
basically we were chaperones too. Or basically
Yeah.
we were there. So, and then that's where the drinks and stuff were down on the end. So, and plenty of old grannies walking around. So.
Well, that answers the next question. Was it a planned meeting or did it just happen?
It just
It just happened.